This is Everyday Commentary, and this is a video overview of this knife. This knife is the Kizer Cutlery Gemini, and this is a collaboration between Kizer Cutlery and Ray Lacanico. And this is the production version of Ray Lacanico's Jasmine. And the Jasmine was a titanium frame lock flipper produced by Ray Lacanico, who's an American custom knife maker. And it had a lot of really nice features. It featured very smooth flipping action, had a nice, very useful, not sort of crazy blade shape, a full flat grind, and just very clean, minimal lines. I owned a Jasmine. I owned a custom Jasmine, and I was not terribly impressed. There was a lot of blade play. In order to get like super smooth action, you had to have the pivot screw really loose, and then you could get like really good flipping action, but then the blade would wiggle when it was open. Another thing that I didn't really like about the knife was the fact that it was a custom knife and it ran D2. And D2 is a good steel, but I'm paying a premium for a custom knife, and I would like that premium to go towards things like the steel. So I was like, I'm not super thrilled about that. But here, this Jasmine production version, the Gemini, it fixes all of those mistakes. This flipping action on this knife is as good or better than the custom that I had, and there is absolutely zero blade play, up, down, side to side, and unlike on the production version, the lock does not wiggle when in place. So if you see here, I would be able to take my finger and just wiggle it on the lock bar there, but on the production version I can't do that. A couple other things that are really nice. On the production version, instead of slab titanium handles, you get these really nice curved, sort of contoured handles. And so it actually feels better in your hand than the production version. The other thing that's really nice about than the custom version, the other thing that's nicer about the custom version or production version than the custom version is that it uses S35VN. So it's just a straight up better blade steel than what the custom ran, which was D2. A couple other nice touches that were not present on the custom. I don't really care so much for decorative pivot screws, but here Kizer did them right. These are Torx bits, even though they have all this fancy milling around them. They're just Torx bits. And they're very nicely colored. As you can see, they really pop on this knife. And so they also match the pocket clip. And I have to say that I like this pocket clip better than I like the pocket clip on the custom. And then finally, I think you probably saw it there, the production version of the Jasmine, the Gemini, has a built-in lock bar stabilizer. And so it is also a lock interface so that the lock bar comes in contact with steel and not titanium to prevent stickiness and to prevent wear, because this is much harder than this. And then it also acts as a stabilizer because you can't take the frame lock all the way out. There's like a little stopper in there that prevents you from doing this. So this is a knife that you can get from Blade HQ for about 180 bucks, and it just blows away the custom. There's no comparison. This is just a better knife than the custom. In fact, let's see if I can get this to work from around the camera. One more try. Yeah, you can do the pinky flip to get this thing open. I think we're at a point right now where the custom market is really being pushed by the production market, and this is evidence of that, because this is a knife that is essentially a mid-price knife now, given how much knives have gone up over the past couple of years. And it is just straight up better in every way than the production knife, or than the custom knife that it was based on. There are a couple of things that custom makers can do that production companies can't really do. It's very hard to do something like Mokutai, where you have to have specific treatments for it. But other than that, and notice that's not a performance thing, it's just a looks thing, the capacities of these companies, including overseas companies, because Kizer is a Chinese company, have reached the point where they're as good or better than some of the things that custom makers can do. Now there are like truly elite custom makers out there, like Gustavo Cecchini, that can do things that you can't expect to see in a production knife. But we are rapidly approaching the point, and I think we are there, especially with this knife, where the difference between a production knife and a custom knife is not so apparent in its fit and finish, in its materials, and in its performance. It's probably more an issue of design. You can get very, very different designs in the custom world than you can in the production world. But this is an incredible knife, and I'm thrilled to have it. And I want to thank reader Elliot, who sent it to me for keeps. It was a gift, so it was very nice. I really, really enjoy having this knife. It is definitely one of my favorite flippers. It compares very well to the Lion Steel tray. The Lion Steel tray is a little bit more expensive, but it does have a little bit nicer steel. The flipping action is different. This is much snappier, but the flipping action on the Lion Steel is also very good. It's good. It's not better or worse. It's just different. So when you get a chance, go take a look at the Lock & Eco Gemini, and you can go through Blade HQ and pick it up. It's a good solid knife. S35VN, 3.25-inch blade, titanium handles. It's got everything you want, and it's got some of the best flipping action I've ever seen, custom or production. Oh, and by the way, compared to the 450, the ZT450, both of which are flippers. Watch this. I can pinch and still hit it. Yeah, so that was a production flaw on the 450, because this knife, I'm actually holding the lock bar and it still comes out. So there's no question in my mind that was a mistake. This knife is really amazing. So when you get a chance, go take a look at the Kizer. A review will be coming soon. And by the way, you need to make sure you're aware of this. Chinese companies have thrown down the gauntlet, because this knife is as good as anything produced by an American company, by a German company, by an Italian company this year. This is an amazing knife. So take a look at the Kizer Gemini, and a review will be